Buddy, it's me, Mr. Santee, Rob McNelis, and I am here in the office today. It is Padres Day. They are playing right now. It is currently, we are in the top of the fifth inning still, and unfortunately they're losing 4-2. But you know what? The show must go on. The show must go on. So I am blessed to have Doreen Smith here with Century 21 Award. And Doreen's one of the managers and one of the what do you call it, T100, your top 100.
Top 100 agents in the company.
And the company currently sits at how many agents?
Probably 700.
Yeah, 700 agents. So
yeah.
You're doing all right.
Hanging in there.
Atta girl. And wanted to have you on today just to talk about, I've been doing this for 30 years, and it's still amazing to me how fast this market is changing
Yes.
and the degree that it's changing in that period of time. It's not normal to see this big of a jump in any direction in this short period of time. And so this is, even though I say, I've seen, you can't say you've seen it all, but I'm seeing a lot. This is still something a little bit new, but there are still some nuances that remain the same no matter what.
Yes.
And we've talked about some of these before, and that's the reason I want to bring you on. And all right, let's get your perspective. So, with that being said, what are some of the things that you're seeing that are very new, like right now, like within the last month or two, that are positive and negative for the market?
Positive is buyers actually have an opportunity to get their offer accepted. Buyers are actually able to ask for credits, their 2-1 buy downs. So they have more of an opportunity to finally get that property. They're not doing multiple offer situations, getting overbid, paying $100,000 over market. So it's an opportunity. And that's how you as the professional need to explain it. Great opportunity still to buy. Rates will always be fluctuating. So you can always get out of that. But for buyers, it's a good time to buy.
So I actually just saw this morning, which is an article. It's a few days old, but was it Blackstone Industries? They just did they just raised some more joint venture money. They're going to spend $24 billion in the next 2 years. They're going to try to buy up real estate. Corporations looking to buy up real estate. Why would they be doing that in such a horrible market?
Because rents are crazy through the roof.
And
why wouldn't you try to pay your own mortgage instead of paying someone else's mortgage? And unfortunately, look how well that went with Zillow.
Yeah.
So
we'll see how that goes with them as well. But
exactly.
So, it's just because I still hear it myself. And the reason for it, a lot of it is obviously the media. They want to, they want to portray everything as doom and gloom, because if it bleeds, it leads. That's how they get more clicks. That's clickbait. Yep. You see it on YouTube. In fact, I know some of those people on YouTube that talk doom and gloom. Mm-hmm. They don't believe it themselves, but it's helping them get their profile out. And that's all they really care about, because then they sell ad space on their profile by getting you to follow what they say. So I just don't see, if you've got corporations like that spending billions of dollars to buy more real estate, they don't just do that stuff willy-nilly typically. There's a reason behind that, and that's not because they're going to try and grab it and flip it. No. They're going to grab and hold.
Yeah.
And those that are doing that currently, I think, are going to do quite well, because, as you said, rates will change. Some of these people that got the rates in their 2s and 3s, the chances are they're probably not going to keep those rates at some point. No, they're going to still refinance out of that for a reason.
Yes, or they're going to hang on to that property, use it as an investment, rent it out, and buy something else. They're going to build their equity, their wealth.
Yeah. And sometimes it makes sense to even change that rate to, I've seen people doing construction loans or, cash out loans in order to put accessory dwelling units or ADUs on their property. And now they're renting those out.
And then they have income.
Yeah. I was talking with an agent yesterday for lunch, and she actually did it on her place. Yeah. She's got a place in RB. She's averaging $3,000 a month on her ADU, renting it out Airbnb.
And isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
And that's what, though, again, if you're paying $3,000 for an ADU, why not look into getting a mortgage and taking advantage of the market and buying? That's what I don't get, because there is a loan program for most people out there.
This is true. And, still, you're absolutely right. And I am remiss to say this often enough, but I can't believe how many people still think you need 20% down.
I know.
So you have to put 20%.
No.
You really don't. There are some programs with nothing down. A lot of programs with a little as 3% down or 3.5% down, and the market or the world's your oyster at 5% down.
Yep.
So, and it can come from retirement accounts. It can come from gifts. It can come from gifts of equity. It can come from gifts from relatives. There's so many ways to put all of it together to come up with that.
Exactly. Even if you borrowed against your 401k and paid yourself back, it's still a cheap interest rate when you're paying yourself back.
Yeah.
It's going right back into your
own
equity.
You're putting it back into your pocket.
Wealth. Yes.
Yeah. So really, that's taking good money and putting it into something that's going to make you even more money.
Yes.
And the corrections. They talk about the corrections in the marketplace and prices dropping. And what I'm really seeing for the most part are listing prices dropping.
Yes.
Not necessarily year-over-year sales prices dropping.
No.
There may be one or two here and there that somebody just because they paid $150,000, $200,000 over asking price.
Yes.
Just because they were that desperate to get a house, that doesn't mean that that's what that house is really worth to begin with.
No, exactly. And if you're buying that house, if you bought it within the last year and you bought it to live in it for 3 to 5 years, the market will change by then.
Yeah.
And you got a house when you wanted to buy a house, when you needed to live, and you got a rate that was amazing.
Oh,
back then.
Yeah.
So again, it's just sellers still have equity. It's not, the market's not crashing. It is not doom and gloom. Sellers still have appreciation. I don't see that we're going to have this foreclosure short sale issue at all coming up. And again, the media tries to portray that, but I don't see that happening.
What's funny is the media numbers before that just came out, and the media portrayed largest increase in foreclosures in it was something like in 10 years or something like that, and it went from like 0.4 to 0.77.
It doubled. Almost.
I
know,
that's what it is. Yeah.
I know.
That's it. It's still less than 1%.
It is.
Less than 1% of every home out there is in less than 1%.
To put into context.
Yeah. I mean, even in some of the best markets, it ranged right around 3.3%. So it's still at historic lows, but the media says, oh, the biggest increase in foreclosure. Come on. Well, that's because of 2 years you couldn't foreclose on somebody's house.
No.
Because of COVID.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was 0.
Mm-hmm.
So anything, if there was 0 and now there's 1, that's 100% increase.
Exactly.
So you look at, yes, there's a way to sell it to make it look so bad,
Yes.
but the reality is that isn't what the market is doing.
No.
And I know I am maybe a little bit more bullish on this than some, but I mean, all the signs are there. Every analytical data point that we've used throughout history to determine if and when you're in a recession, we've already hit or exceeded those numbers. And every time that there's been a recession, we've seen rates drop. Home loan rates.
Yes.
Long-term financing rates,
No.
not short-term necessarily.
Yeah, car loans, interest
You got it,
credit
but-
cards, no.
But long-term financing rates drop, and with them, the market continues to build back up again.
Mm-hmm.
So is this a breather? Perhaps, but more important, this is the time. And I said this on another thing. Maybe it been with you. Maybe it was when we were doing one of our other events. But this is the time where you jump into the market, get the terms, because when the rates do drop, it's going to be back to a feeding frenzy again. You're going to be battling against multiple offers again and bidding it back up, because it will have happened in such a recent period of time that people will still remember, oh, I know what we do in this market.
Yes.
And that's how, then they're going to go right back to that, rather than taking advantage right now.
Yes, you have to.
Where sellers are ready, willing, and able to provide credits. And those credits can be used to buy down home loan or buy down interest rates.
Mm-hmm. It's very common.
Even if it's for a short-term period, it's all you need. If we know that rates in every single recession, rates drop, could this be the one time? Who knows? I mean, yes, this could be the one time in history that it hasn't happened, but statistically, come on, no.
It's not.
But it's not. I mean,
when you look at history, it doesn't.
History tends to repeat
real
itself.
estate is always a good investment.
Yeah.
You have to live somewhere. So, you might as well look at what you can afford, see what's out there on the market. We're heading into the holiday season anyway. Inventory is still challenging. You know, there's not a lot of it, but you do have more opportunity. So it's just how you look at it, your perspective. There's an opportunity right now to buy. If you can get in, get credits, you know, do a 2-1 buy down, do a 3 or 5 year ARM.
Yeah.
You know, adjustable rate mortgages are not, they're there for a reason, and it's a great product.
Yeah.
So it's just understanding what is available to you.
The right adjustable rate mortgages.
Correct.
They're it's not the 2004, 5, 6, 7 stated income ones that you don't even pay the full interest on the loan.
Yeah.
These are very, very different. These are definitely more secure and will get you that lower interest rate. And they're what we call hybrids for the most part. So it's maybe fixed for 3 years, and then it turns into a annual adjustable, which just means it'll adjust one time per year for the next 27 years if it's a 30-year mortgage. There's 3-year fixed, 5-year fixed, 7-year fixed, and 10-year fixed. And you're going to get a better interest rate for the shorter fixed rate period of that time. The rates tend to, they get better because it's less risk for a bank to not know what are we servicing for this long period of time, and was there better opportunity for us in the marketplace? So that's the reason that they will, the shorter term adjustables have better interest rates than the longer term fixed or 30-year fixed. So getting in is the main deal. Prices leveling out, like you mentioned. The other part is the seasonal.
It is
seasonal. So seasonally adjusted, this is the beginning of that slow time.
It is,
because kids go back to school.
Holidays are coming up.
You don't want anybody coming through the house while you're getting ready for Thanksgiving and family coming in, or presents are out at Christmas.
Exactly.
So if you're selling, it's more likely you're selling because you got to sell.
Exactly. So you're more motivated to look at a buyer's offer.
There you go. So for buyers, this is actually, we've always said, this is the best time.
It is the best time.
This is the best time to buy. If you're a seller, the best time typically is during the spring and spring through summer. But
I wouldn't wait.
But there you
Because
go.
you're like, you don't want to wait, because 6 months now could be very different, like we were 6 months ago. So if you're going to sell, I would do it sooner rather than later, because you want to at least realize as much equity as you can from the sale of your home.
Yeah, and then utilize it. Just utilize it wisely. What else did I see? It was an increase. This increase. So we're now sitting as of recording of this. Well, I guess this is live right now, but if you're watching it later, because you're watching the game right now, like we kind of are right down below.
Right now, yeah.
If as of right now, and today was not a good day for the market, so we've seen rates jump up and back into the low 7s again. But just last week, they were in the high 6s, and you look legitimately a year ago, they were in the low 3s. So, I mean, from the low 3s to the low 7s, it's a 4% increase in a year. That's almost unheard of in very, very recent times. Since the 70s, I think it was the last time, or early 80s was the last time you had an increase of that much in that short period of time. So for it to happen again, it isn't normal. This is something that is very different. It is the anomaly, not the rule. Yes. And as such, it should be treated that way. And so things will get better again, and as they always have every other time. Exactly. So we'll get the Fed will get inflation back in check eventually. We're already starting to see some of the things that they're doing slow the economy down, slow people down from buying. And what is inflation? Inflation is too many people chasing too few goods. So, or too many dollars chasing too few goods. So if there's too few goods out there and there's a whole lot of people that want it, supply and demand, that's what inflation is. It's the same thing with housing, supply and demand. We've got major corporations buying in the best locales because that's where rents are going to be, and they're going to be steady. People will do whatever they can to live in places like San Diego, and parts of New York and parts of Florida, and it just is what it is. So that's where a majority of their buying is going to be. So you're going to be competing against corporations still. You're going to be competing against just the family growth. Yes. The millennials starting new families, and just those that are moving, from bigger houses to smaller houses, or smaller houses to bigger houses. Like there's all of it, and the investors that still want to get in there and get those rents, because that is the one thing that is not taken even a small step back.
Not
is
at all.
Rents.
It's so hard. I get so many people looking for, have you heard of some place to rent? But again, the rents are through the roof.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a mortgage payment of some sort. Even if you get in a condo entry level, at least you're building your wealth. You're paying your mortgage.
Yeah, I saw one yesterday, because the same agent I was talking about was showing me a house that's being rented $8,000 a month just for a single family detached house in
I couldn't
RB.
even imagine that.
$8,000 a month for rent. That's rent. That's not, you don't own anything. You own no part of it. That's just rent.
Yeah.
And that's if it's on a 1-year lease.
Yeah, that's insane.
So, yeah,
You know,
you got to live somewhere. You
do
might
have
as well
to live
own it.
somewhere. Exactly.
Bite the bullet. Take the rate right now. Get the house you want. Refinance it in the next year. And get to, they should keep talking. The Padres have almost tied it up.
Oh, so I guess we're good. See,
Yeah.
you're lucky. See, all your lucky shit,
Yeah.
Rob. That's
No,
what it is.
If Rob's not paying attention to the game, then they're going to win. That's what it is. Dang it.
And also remember too, for those VA buyers out there, you can get your offer accepted now. It was tough when the market was crazy.
Agreed.
VA,
FHA,
no one wanted to look at those buyers, but that market is open for you. Use those programs to your benefit, especially VA, because that is still a good rate.
And
a
we
good
do
program.
have such a high military population in San Diego, and they're still bringing more guys and men and women in. And the Marines are still bringing more men and women in every single day. They are bolstering the military population here at San Diego. So frankly, it's also, and they're not building any more housing on the bases.
Nope, they're not.
But they are paying for our military population to live off base.
They are, and that's a great credit they get every
That's
month.
That's a significant credit they get every single month. So if you're a buyer or heck, even a renter, you're competing against them as well.
Mm-hmm.
All the more reason to lock something down for yourself.
Yes.
Even in the crazy times in the crazy market. Oh my goodness. Yep. And we're going again. Sorry.
I know.
They're batting. This doesn't happen for us very often. We live in San Diego. Our sports don't necessarily always do that great. So it's nice to see a team in some playoffs finally.
That's still in San Diego.
That are,
That
that legitimately are still in San Diego. Exactly. So yes, this is very cool. Well, like I said, the show had to go on. So
now they're tied. Just say it.
Nikki, you were right. You're right, Nikki. So all right, what else do you see? What are your predictions for 2023?
You know, I think pretty much the same as what we're seeing now.
So.
I think rates will still, I think they'll probably still be on the high side. I don't see them going much higher than they are. Realistically, I don't see how they can continue that way. But again, I still don't think sellers still have equity. The
Without a
market
doubt.
hasn't changed that much. Sellers still have equity in their homes. So
Yeah.
they can still sell. There's still negotiation room for a seller there. And there still will be for a buyer. Because again, I don't see that changing next year. I mean, I still see that it's becoming more of a normalized market.
Yeah.
It was insane there for a while. So I think it's still a great time to buy. I think next year's going to bring some of the same. And like I said, real estate's always a good investment. They are not making any more land.
Nope.
If you can get in, you know, and the thing is, if you're not ready now, that's when you reach out to your lender. What do I need to do to get pre-approved? If I'm not there today, what is my plan if it's 3 months from now? Start working on that so you know what you need to do to be able to qualify and buy a home.
I happen to know a good
proactive.
lender, just saying.
Exactly. You know, right here. But just reach out, know that. Be prepared as a buyer for what you're looking for too. But it is a great opportunity to buy.
It is. So, and my guess is just a little bit off from that. I do think we are going to see lower rates, but not. I think we're going to see rates go right around the high 4s, low 5s. I think we'll see that by the first quarter of next year. But that's why I say the feeding frenzy is going to start all over again. So, like, what do you do? You wait for that, and the house may cost you $60,000 more.
Exactly.
You never take the rate now, refinance later. You're gonna save a crap ton of money by doing that. But other than that, I agree that this actually just gets back to a more normalized market.
It does.
It's the funny thing is that people are freaking out about what's going on right now, but if they would look at 2018 or 2019, you would actually see that we're pretty spot on with 2018, 2019. In fact, maybe a little bit better. But it's just because 20 and 21 were so crazy, so wild that everybody forgets what a normalized market looks like.
Yes.
So seeing prices appreciate 3 to 4% per year each year over year, that's great. That's sustainable.
And that's normal.
That's normal. The 10, 15, 20% increases, not so much. And so I think we do get back to a more normalized market. I think rates will come back down. Definitely not back to 2s or 3s. So if you're waiting for that,
You're waiting a long time.
And yeah, I hate to see what anomaly would have to be created in order for that to happen, because it really wouldn't be good for our economy, or the world by that matter. But I really do think we get back to somewhat of a normalized market, and it's a give and take, back to a give and take for both buyers and sellers, where they actually do have to come to an agreement on things, rather than anyone is truly just dictating all terms at all times, and you'll take it or you won't. I've got 300 other people behind me that'll take it. So I really think that's where we're gonna get back to, which is, like you said, is a really good thing for everyone.
Yes, I totally agree, because you had buyers that were just buying just to get in. They didn't love the house.
They just wanted to get into
and then after
something.
they did it, they were like, God, you don't want to have buyer's remorse on something that costly.
Oh, goodness no. Goodness no.
It's not a toaster oven, so.
Or a gun that you can get over
at
at Sportsman's Warehouse.
Which is in Santee. If you didn't know that, they are open.
She was so excited to see Sportsman's Warehouse right here in Santee.
I was like, wow, they had a grand opening? I'm like, Rob, and you can walk right there.
Yes, and I've been there twice since they've opened.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah. So you live in Ramona.
Yes, native San Diegan, lived here my whole life, several parts of the county. I lived in Santee for a long time too. So
and we lost her.
Yeah, but I love Ramona.
So you live in Ramona, but you also manage which offices?
I manage Ramona, Rancho Penasquitas, La Mesa, and Carlsbad.
So yeah, kind of all over the place.
Kind of all over the place.
She kind of knows what she's doing, guys. So maybe listen to this gal. And is there anything else you want to throw out there?
Not really. It was great being on today. I hope the Padres win.
Thank you.
We're trying to drag it out, Nikki, for you so that they win. But hopefully it'll be successful. But again, just be proactive in your home search. If you're really looking to buy, again, reach out to your lender, find out what you qualify for. Just be proactive. There's always a way to make something work that fits within your budget. And if you're a seller, again, you still have equity in your home, so it's just being realistic and looking at what the current market is, so you know how to price your home correctly. Yes. You can't go back 3 months. Don't listen to your neighbor Bob, what happened last year. Unfortunately, that's just not where the market is right now. So just you really are looking at a snapshot in time, not back more than a month, and you're looking at what's active and pending, because that's telling us where the market trends are going.
And Joe, can we make sure we get Doreen's contact information up there? So if anybody has questions for Doreen, they can contact her directly. I know you've got it. I know he's watching
Joe.
He's watching the Padres game too.
He is.
I see him updating. It's pretty cool.
Actually, that's deep in my phone. If you'll read it off right now, I'll add it to the message here.
Oh well, you
sure
can.
Will.
Yeah. Doreen Smith.
Doreen Smith, 760-803-4708. Email super easy. Doreen@DoreenSmith.com.
Did you get that, Joe? That was pretty fast.
We lost Joe.
We lost Joe.
Okay. That was way too fast.
That's what I figured. All right. Doreen.
Let's try it again.
Smith.com.
Doreen at what?
DoreenSmith.com.
Chicken pecker. Hey, chicken pecker.
I hear the
I have chickens.
Yes. All right, we got that part. And her
phone number?
760-803-4708.
we go. Look at you.
Thank you, Joe.
And we'll put that in. Should you put that in the show notes?
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Thank you so
Awesome.
very much. Doreen, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I hope
awesome.
hope it wasn't too painful for you.
No, not
No?
at all. And you're tied.
And we're tied. We did it. We
Right
did it.
on.
Now let's go to B-dubs and watch the rest of the game.
Right.
All right, everybody. We'll see you
Have a
next
good
week.
one.
You take care and have a wonderful day. Go Padres!
Go Padres.
I want to say